All right, here's kind of a controversial thing. I want to get your opinion on.
Okay.
Have you ever seen the TV show Bait Car?
No.
Never saw it?
Bait car?
Yeah, Bait Car.
No, never seen it.
Well, what happens is the law enforcement takes a car,
Okay.
and they park it in an area that is known for high car theft.
Okay.
In order to attract car thieves.
Okay.
And what they'll do is they'll like drive a car up, they'll park it like along a curb somewhere, and then they'll leave the keys in the ignition.
Okay.
And then some car thief will walk along and they'll go, holy shit, there's a car. It's got the keys in the ignition.
I'm grabbing this Mustang.
Exactly. So they get in the car.
Right.
The car is already outfitted with like cameras and shit.
GPS, all that shit.
Yeah. And so they're basically monitoring this car from the jump. So this car thief gets in, takes off with it, drives down the street. They've got some chase units already positioned.
Okay.
And then they are able to shut the car down.
Okay.
And lock the doors so the guy is trapped inside the car.
What channel is this on? I'd like to watch this.
It's called Bait Car.
Okay, well, that doesn't tell me where to see it.
Well, I don't know. You'll have to look it up.
All right.
I don't know if it's like on Discovery or TLC or something like that.
Bait Car.
Yeah, Bait Car.
I can't say I've ever even heard of this thing.
Yeah, it's kind of a funny show because you see the person who's stealing the car, and they're like, you can tell they're real nervous, and they're like looking over their shoulder and looking out the window, and
right,
am I being followed and whatever. And then they realize, okay, we're in the clear. So then they hit, the control center shuts the car down, and it locks the doors, and the guy can't get out. And then, of course, the police roll up on it. They tell him to put his hands out the window or whatever, and then they arrest him for stealing a car.
Right.
And they give you these most ridiculous stories like, where'd you get the car? This guy I know, he gave me the keys and he told me to take it over to such and such body shop or whatever. Right. They go, what's the name of the guy? Oh, I can't remember. He just sort of like came up to me and said, hey, could you move my car for me?
Yeah, his name's Bruce.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dred Scott in the chat room says True TV.
Okay. I'm going to look it up. I want to see this.
So they know where there's a high car theft incident area.
So they shot right down the street from you and Gary?
So they basically plant the car, looking to nab whoever it is would steal a car.
Okay.
Well, the same thing goes, I've seen this on, I don't know if it's been like on Cops or something, where they'll take a tractor trailer and they'll take it to a really bad part of town.
Okay.
And the truck driver will act like the truck experienced some kind of mechanical failure.
Okay.
And he puts the flashers on the truck and he walks away like he's going to go find a phone booth or something.
Right,
to call in for the problem. Well, before you know it, when the guy walks away from the truck, all of a sudden these hood rats come out from all over the place and break into the trailer to see what's in there.
Right.
Well, 9 times out of 10, they'll have like stereo equipment and shit in there.
Right.
And so they'll just jump in there and start grabbing stuff.
Right.
But they have like this secret panel built inside the trailer. And while the guys are in there grabbing up shit, they turn the panel around and basically trap them inside the trailer.
Nice.
Well, they call it the bait truck.
Okay.
Well, they've been doing this same thing, this whole bait truck.
Yeah.
And there's this whole controversy about, of course, it being a racist thing.
Why is that racist?
Well, let's find out.
Okay.
A bait truck filled with Nike shoes in a black Chicago neighborhood was part of a railroad sting. Now, if you've ever seen, there was like a look at Phil Lewis in the chat room.
God damn it, Phil. I'm not even going to try and describe that. I'm going to say that is really fucking funny and really fucking racist.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Right.
How did he find that fucking video? What the hell? I can't stop watching it.
I got to shut that down. I can't stop watching it.
It's racist. Now, if that's what they're doing on this show, then I'll agree it is racist.
Right.
That's pretty racist right there. Jesus Christ.
Well, all right. So getting back to the headline here.
Yeah.
Bait truck filled with Nikes in a black neighborhood. Is that racist?
Why would that be racist?
I don't know. I'm asking the question.
Are only black people allowed to wear Nikes?
I think that's a stereotype that sports shoes, tennis shoes is a big thing among the black culture.
All right. Well, here let's just dispel this rumor. Let's just say, they're for the sake of argument, which is true, they're putting this in a black neighborhood.
Yes.
Now, what do you think would happen if they put it in my neighborhood?
Probably nothing.
More than likely, they come back the next day and they won't have one goddamn person that will have even approached the truck.
That's probably true.
So if the behavior plays it out to playing into a stereotype, tough shit. Work on your behavior. All how am I going to put this politely? I'm not. All this black community in question has to do is not touch the truck.
Ah, perfect answer.
Then there would not be any way to have a racial problem.
All right, we'll keep that in mind.
Okay.
A truck loaded with Nike Air Force One sneakers and Christian Louboutin. I never heard of it. Louboutin shoes.
Don't know.
Christian Louboutin or something like that.
Don't know.
Turned up in the Englewood neighborhood of Chicago last week. Mm-hmm. That's where a lot of the shootings go on too, by the way.
Englewood?
Yes.
All right.
It was a bait truck parked by the Norfolk Southern Railroad police.
Okay.
Because did you see that? I think it was like a 7-part series that was out there about the black market. I think it was like on Netflix or something where they featured specific black market activities, from false pharmaceuticals to knockoff clothes to the drugs to weapons to stolen cars.
Nope.
You didn't see that?
No.
Well, one of the things here in Chicago is one of the biggest rail hubs in the country because it crisscrosses here because it's kind of in the central part of the U.S.
Sure.
So Chicago is a huge rail hub.
Okay.
And they experience a high amount of theft off the rail.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of rail cars and containers and stuff that are crisscrossing back and forth here. So a lot of these rail cars and containers are being broken into while they're, in transfer mode.
Okay.
And so because the theft rate is so high, they have to do something to try to stave it off a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So Norfolk Southern, they set up these sting operations.
Okay.
And this bait truck is one of those things.
All right.
So with the assistance from Chicago police to lure thieves to their arrests, the truck traveled to more than one of the sites in the predominantly black community on the city's southwest side. Mm-hmm. Police arrested 3 people during the sting, which was intended to curb cargo theft in the area, according to Norfolk Southern. Okay, so the message there is, don't steal freight.
Yeah.
You're going to get caught.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically what it was. It was just a effort to curb theft off the railroad.
Right.
So that's what they were attempting to do here.
Okay.
An August 2nd video shot by Charles McKenzie of the crime prevention group God's Gorillas.
God's Gorillas?
God's Gorillas.
Boy. Okay.
Captured residents confronting officers about the truck. It has made the rounds on Facebook.
Oh, that's good.
Instagram. Lipstick Alley. Are you familiar with that?
Lipstick Alley?
Lipstick Alley. Look it up.
I got to see what that's about.
Lipstick Alley. And the World Star Hip Hop site.
Oh, World Star Hip Hop, I'm well aware of.
Of course. World Star!
That's one of my faves.
Right, of course.
Lipstick Alley doesn't even load. Just a white screen.
All right. I know nothing about it.
Yeah, I'm not aware.
Another video shot by self-described crime chaser Martin G. Johnson shows the bait truck at different locations the next day. In both videos, community members accuse officers of trying to set residents up to steal.
Okay.
Well, here it is. You're setting us up to steal.
No, you're not.
Well, this goes back to your comment. If it was parked in your neighborhood,
Yeah.
not one person would probably even attempt to approach the truck.
Yeah, not at all.
But it's like, oh, you're just putting all those tasty goodies within our reach, and we just can't resist.
Yeah. It's like crack cocaine.
That's it. It's like crack, man. In a recent past, individuals broke into parked freight containers in the Chicago area, stealing a range of consumer goods to include guns and ammunition in transit. Norfolk Southern spokesperson Susan Tarpey said in an email, Norfolk Southern has the responsibility to ensure that the freight we are transporting is safely delivered and does not pose a risk to the communities in which we operate. This week's police operation was intended to directly combat such unacceptable thefts.
Okay.
Which sounds perfectly logical to me.
Yeah.
Tarpey also denied allegations from the community activists led by former President Obama that the police theft that the bait truck open video surveillance shows a man using box cutters to break open the safety seal on the unmarked trailer, and additional footage shows two men finding the boxes of shoes which were not visible from the street.
Right.
A Chicago police person said that the department only assisted with the enforcement of the Norfolk Southern sting. He directed requests for comment to the railroad company. The Chicago field office of the FBI told the media it would not comment on the story, but over the past decade, law enforcement agencies in the U.S. have increasingly turned to bait devices to reduce crime.
I'm still lost on why that's a problem.
Well, we're going to get to that. Bait devices, be they unattended vehicles or packages, are intended to be stolen.
Okay.
Police typically leave them in high crime neighborhoods and spots where thieves are most likely to take them.
Right.
Okay. A parked bait car, for instance, would be left in an area where car theft is a problem, which is what I just told you about bait car.
Okay.
Bait devices are rigged with surveillance equipment and tracking devices so that authorities usually waiting nearby can quickly catch the offender who make off with them. But as the Black Lives Matter movement has drawn widespread attention to anti-black policing
Brother.
and the disproportionate number of African Americans in prison, reports of a bait truck in an impoverished community of color have predictably sparked an outcry. The Englewood residents seen in the video footage regarded it as another hostile act by law enforcement instead of a bid to cut down on crime.
Look, what is the black community? 18%?
13.
13%?
You should know that by now. 1390.
And we have 50, and we have what, 50 states?
Yes.
So what would that be, like 2 or 3 states would be 15%?
Well, it's 13% of 300 million.
No, that's not what I want. I mean, what would be 13% of 50?
Oh, 13% of 50.
Yeah, 10% of 50 would be 5, right?
Right.
So roughly 7, 8 states?
Correct.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we take 8 states and put them all together, and anybody that wants to have no policing and whatever can live in those 8 states. And then, but they can't leave those 8 states.
Yeah, they have to be fenced off.
They can stay in those 8 states, but that's their country, and they can run it any way they want. They can steal, they can rob, they don't need cops, they can live well, they can appreciate each other, they can respect each other, they can do whatever they want. But let's have them that don't want any kind of police involvement just move to those states and leave the rest of us that are fucking decent alone. How about that? I could have a truck out there with goddamn any product in it at all.
Flat panel TVs.
And it could be made out of glass so that I could see everything that's in it. And I could promise you it would not get broken into. I am 99.99% confident that it would not get broken into. Meanwhile, I could drive a 1978 Buick into this neighborhood that you're talking about, and if I leave it more than 2 hours, I'm going to come back and find no wheels on it.
Well, 2 hours is even a long time. We're talking 30 minutes here.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to where you work, which is right in the heart of this shit. And even where you work, you work in a, I'm not going to name the company or whatever, but you work in an industrial company.
Yes.
It's an industrial place that you work at.
Yeah, it's an industrial area, correct.
And your specific company is definitely industrial.
Yeah, absolutely.
And with that, your company still has a big old fence around it, just around the parking lot.
We do. We're our entire property is fenced in.
Yeah, and that's with a bunch of guys that are walking around with torches and other things that they could hurt you with, tool-wise, if you tried to come in and fuck with somebody's gear. All those people that are working on the containers.
Right.
Could go out there and really fuck you up. And even with that, you still need a fence to protect yourselves.
Correct.
From the day to day. That's fucking just so beyond bizarro world. I don't know if you saw the study this week, but Cleveland came out as the 6th deadliest city in the country. Did you see that?
I did not see that.
Yeah, Cleveland is number 6. And it's not surprising that because for all the improvements that they've done, they just let the scumbags run the town. It's one of the reasons I don't go down there hardly ever anymore. It's like, let the fucking dummies kill each other. I'm for that. Just kill each other. I hate to be that way, but we're at a time now where people don't want to take responsibility for their behavior. So you know what? Don't. Live like a fucking savage and die like one. And that's not a racial thing. That's in anything. You can be white and be a savage. You can be white and be an asshole. You can be white and be a dick. Know plenty of all three. And you know what? They should die too. Straight up. They should just kill themselves. Get into their little gun battles or whatever. It seems like Chicago just loves their fucking guns. Amazing for a city that doesn't even have guns. But you know what? Go ahead. Go out the street and shoot each other. Eventually, most of the bad ones will be taken off the street. Eventually, that'll happen. Or they'll get sick of being shot. And then it'll end. But not until. They don't want police in the neighborhoods. Okay, then fucking kill yourselves. It's just the way it goes.
Right.
Sorry.
So as the Black Lives as the Black Lives Matter movement has drawn widespread attention to anti-black policing and the disproportionate of African Americans in prison. Reports of a bait truck in an impoverished community of color have predictably sparked an outcry. The Englewood residents seen in the video footage regarded it as another hostile act by the law enforcement instead of a bid to cut down on crime. However, the alleged placement of the bait truck near a basketball court filled with kids signaled to some a ploy to ensnare vulnerable youth in the criminal justice system rather than career criminals.
Well, whatever parent is left in the house could easily teach them, don't go steal fucking shoes.
Exactly.
Why is that a hard lesson to understand? Teach your kids not to fucking thieve. Is that so fucking crazy?
No.
God.
There were a lot of young guys playing basketball, according to Mackenzie, who said he spotted the bait truck while driving nearby. Why would they do that in the poorest communities to people who don't have anything better?
So that's the excuse that makes it okay?
Yeah, because, well, we're poor, we have nothing, so if you're going to park something of value there, we're going to take it.
Yeah, we should take it. That's what they're saying. They should take it because they don't have better, so they should feel entitled to take better.
Right.
That is the dumbest fucking theory ever.
Terrapay denies that the bait truck was parked near a basketball court, but couldn't specify how far away the nearest court was from the trailer or whether area kids were playing basketball on a makeshift court of some sort. She said the men arrested ranged from ages of 21 to 59, and juveniles were not targets of the operation.
You know why they put these in these neighborhoods and not all the neighborhoods? Because they don't want to waste the man hours in the places that don't have a bunch of scumbags living there.
Right.
That's what it is. You're in a neighborhood with fucking scumbags. Move if you could. If you're above this fray, move. If you don't want your kids to be involved in this shit, get them off this fucking basketball court where the other people are obviously shady at best.
Right.
Right? I mean, if you're a parent, pull your kid out of that shit. Holy mother of fuck.
Mackenzie said that the many Englewood residents have nothing to lose, making the temptation of unattainable cargo too great for many to resist.
That's bullshit.
It's like a moth to a flame.
That's fucking bullshit. A fucking pair of tennis shoes is too fucking much to resist.
Well, how would you even know there were tennis shoes in there?
Yeah, until you broke into the fucking truck.
Right.
This is fucking pandering horse shit.
Of course.
After the fact. The reality is they don't know what's in it, but they're just intending to steal it.
Right, of course.
Yeah, stop with this. They don't have anything, so they need to shut up. You know what? In humankind, there's always been people a class above you, no matter where you are. I don't care if you're me or you. I don't care if you're fucking dirt fucking poor. I don't care if you're Donald fucking Trump. There's fucking people above you that have more. And you're never, ever, ever entitled to take from them without their permission. Ever. Anytime you do it, I'm for the old biblical way of it. Cut the fucking hands off. Let them be fucking stumpy for the rest of their goddamn life.
Englewood's poverty rate is at least 40% by some estimates and more than 60% according to others. While the community is known as a high crime area in 2017, shootings and homicides in the neighborhood have dropped 44% and 45% respectively. The Chicago Tribune reported car theft also went down. Mackenzie, 29, said that he had never seen a bait truck in Englewood, but has cargo theft across the country has become a growing problem. Law enforcement agencies have used bait trucks to catch thieves. Although they might reduce crime, critics wonder if sting trailers are simply creating crime. Creating crime. Turning tempted bystanders who wouldn't ordinarily steal into offenders. I wouldn't normally break into a truck, but God damn it, that thing was so tempting and just sitting there.
Have you ever been so tempted to do something that you just had to do it even though you knew?
No.
I maybe as a kid.
And not even as a kid.
I did as a kid. When I was a kid, I stole some shit. When I was 15, 16 years old, I've told those stories about, stealing cassettes and whatever from the Kmart.
Right.
But my God, by the time I turned into an adult, I just accepted, well, I don't have it. I don't have enough money for that shit. So I stopped stealing, and I waited till I had money for shit, and I just didn't have things. This is a fucking bullshit fucking no accountability. You could have summed this story up with those two words. No accountability.
Right.
Signed Chicago. Fucking stupid story.
Reports of baked trucks in Englewood might be rare enough to generate community outrage.
Yeah, sure.
But police used bait devices there previously. An unsuccessful police operation using a bait car in Englewood even ended up on the since canceled True TV reality show Bait Car.
They canceled it.
That's what. It says. Yeah, I guess so.
Because it's too racist, probably.
Probably. Police may leave bait cars unlocked, place the keys inside, or leave the packages to make themselves more alluring to the thieves.
Oh, nice.
In the bait car episode that took place in Englewood, the car itself was the bait, but the thieves ended up taking the police surveillance equipment in the trunk rather than the vehicle. They managed to escape before the authorities could apprehend them.
Right.
In 2008, the Chicago Police Department made headlines by using a bait car to cut down on auto theft in high crime areas. The city is not alone. Dallas police uses bait cars to reduce auto theft, and Philadelphia police have used bait cars for several years too. In San Francisco, authorities use bait bicycles to deter bike thieves. Bait bikes have GPS tracking devices and are positioned in areas where odds are high that they'll be stolen. Wow. Authorities in other cities have used trucks rigged with monitor devices to make bait out of UPS boxes, handbags, sneakers, food, beverages, and electronics.
Okay.
The FBI reports that about $27 million in property was taken as a result of cargo theft in 2016, the most recent year in which data is available. The federal agency defines cargo theft as the criminal taking of goods, money, or baggage, including a part of a commercial shipment. Cargo is a wide category and can include an electronic mix of goods such as cars, bicycle, alcohol, apparel, food, livestock, drugs, electronics, and general merchandise. More than $732,734,000 of goods the FBI broadly categorizes as merchandise was taken in cargo theft incidences in 2016, and more than $390 million of apparel-related cargo was stolen.
Okay.
The FBI's Uniform Crime Regarding program only began in collecting data on cargo theft in 2012. The agencies report that cargo theft is on the rise and offenses may even pose a threat to national security. Often, cargo theft offenses are part of a larger criminal scheme and have been found to be components of organized crime rings.
Oh, Jesus. Enough with this bullshit.
Drug trafficking and funding for terrorism.
Oh, come on. It's a bunch of fucking street rats stealing shit.
Yeah, that's basically what it boils down to.
And the ones in the bait car, I doubt are fucking stealing fucking Nike tennis shoes to fund Hamas. I mean, come on. Let's not get stupid here.
Entrapment laws allow defendants who took bait to claim that the government turned them into criminals instead of merely giving them the opportunity to commit a crime. Mm-hmm. Both in 2015 Harvard Law Review article Bait, Mask, and Ruse, Technology and Police Deception, Elizabeth Joe, a law professor at the University of California, said that the entrapment excuse usually isn't successful.
Right.
In practice, entrapment is a losing defense. For most courts, the conclusion that the defendant is criminally predispositioned to commit the offenses bars an entrapment claim where the government temptation may be unrealistically attractive.
Okay.
So there you are.
There it is. Enough. We get it.
You made me steal that. You brought that in and I couldn't resist it, and you just made me take it.
And these are the same people that'll bitch that nobody wants to put a business in their fucking neighborhood.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah, same exact people. Well, this is why. Because you can't even protect yourself from it. You accept it, you fucking jizzbags. There's no wonder nobody wants to have a business in your neighborhood.
Yeah. Nobody wants you to take their shit.
Yeah. Why would they want to do that? God, I hate people.
Well, again, this all boils back to the whole, well, that's just racist.
Oh, all right. Well,
you don't want to put your business here because you're a racist.
Yeah, well, apparently I can't fucking trust to park my car there without it getting stolen. Fuck this. Fuck these people and fuck their attitude.
I think that's what I'm going to call this last segment. Fuck this, fuck these people, and fuck their attitude.
Yes. That's a perfect name.
We'll get pulled down off of YouTube before you know it.
And before you upload it.
Right. Well, we can't have this kind of language.
Yeah, no, can't have that.
That's so good. All right, well, that's going to wrap up another show.
That went amazingly fast.
It did. It went very quickly. People and their racism.
Yeah, Phil. Jesus Christ, look at that family portrait of Obama. My goodness.
Let me see here. Yeah, that's Obama. He's with his folks.
That's nice.
I didn't know his folks were together long enough to where they could take a family portrait.
Apparently they did.
Wow. Mark Zuckerberg will take it down.
Probably true.
Wow.
All right, let's get the fuck out of here. I'm tired.
All right. Well, we're going to get out of here with like a blaze of glory.
All right.
I'm going to leave you with some solo Bon Jovi from the Blaze of Glory release.
Hey.
We're going to get out of here. I like this song.
I do too.
Not a big Bon Jovi fan, but for some reason I like this song.
It's a good tune. That whole record is pretty good, actually.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to get out of here. We'll be back next Saturday, 2 weeks from now. Summer Bash. Make your plans. Hopefully we'll see a lot of you out there. But in a blaze of glory, we're gone. This is Neely along with my very good friend.
Is Egan.
We'll see you.
Bye, kids.